Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I'm Cryptokip, and today we have a very special guest for you. And today we will be talking about Coin. We'll talk about the $5 billion recovered for Binance, Gala Games, the upward momentum, and then the big crash, Bonk, the meme token, Solana, a lot of price predictions, and of course, an extremely bullish Bitcoin and Ethereum. Are we in a bull market? There is a lot to discuss. If you guys like this kind of content, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're doing 4 videos every single day for you. And when we hit 10,000 subscribers on the channel, we're giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to one lucky subscriber. So don't miss out on that. And when we get 25,000 subscribers, we're giving away a loaded lion to the Crow fam, to the Crypto Report community, because we do appreciate you. Buckle up and get ready for a wonderful collaboration. We do have a special guest on the program with us. Welcome to Satoshi Aoki. How you doing, man?
Yeah, it's very well, Kip. Thank you so much for having me on the channel again. I'm loving meeting up with you boys every month, getting in touch with you and Black Sea as well. It's great, and what a great time to be here. A bit of a spark in the market, so always exciting to talk to you, mate.
Very exciting right now. Huge sparks in the market. I know you and Black Sea have been going back and forth. You guys are a little bit more into the Solana space than me right now. And man, the hype, the excitement in that space is incredible. To the Bonk token, I've seen your videos on that. They've been spectacular. I know there's a lot going on. And today, we were talking a little bit a moment ago, CPI data came out and it was low, 6.5% down from over 7% during the last announcement when they came out with these CPI numbers. So yeah, we're looking pretty bullish. So we've been calling out on the channel. We've been saying it, and of course, there's always room for downside. But we've been saying we think the bottom's in. Are you on that page? Do you think that the bottom's in here for crypto?
I mean, look, obviously, I can't say it without bias because I'm obviously bullish on BTC, ETH, just crypto on the whole. But I mean, yeah, gun to my head, if I have to say, I don't know. It's not an easy decision. It's really not. If I'm honest, I'm just so on the fence. But if I had to say honestly, I just honestly feel like it's 50-50. But maybe with just that slight shift of bias, I just kind of want to say yes. I'm probably just leaning a little bit more to the yes side. I guess one of the biggest factors that I'm waiting for is the resolution of, I think it was the recent DCG stuff with that recent hold. I mean, what's going to end up happening there? Is there going to be a sort of a bankruptcy filed or even another bankruptcy? I think that's kind of the impeding issue. And if that were to happen, how much, but even if that were to happen, would that have such an effect on BTC to take it below 15K? I mean, that's even quite significant from 18K. Do you know what I mean? So I guess they're kind of all questions, but I don't know. I'd like to think that, among all these crypto whales, maybe they can just help each other keep maybe just handballing the problem around until we just get enough retail investment, maybe more big investment into the send us over 20K.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, and that's a great point. I've been watching this DCG thing has been crazy. You know that Gemini just did actually recently totally extinguish the whole earn yield product, the Genesis product they had, and there's this whole kind of disgusting spat publicly between Barry, the owner and the head of DCG and the Winklevoss brothers, and it's just kind of really been kind of giving crypto more of a bad look. But really, all things considered, it didn't move the market at all. And what I'll say is about this: you're talking about the whales. That's a great point. I do think that the whales have been propping up this market. The truth is we're waiting to see what happens with that, but if Bitcoin does blast up and go to 25K, then honestly, all their problems are solved. And all of a sudden, they've got money. The Winklevoss twins own how much crypto? And Barry is, one of the kings of crypto when you look at it, owning, part of Grayscale, owning, I think it's CoinDesk, some of these huge publications, owning share in this and that all across crypto. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you what. The CPI data is probably one of the more exciting things for me right now. This is huge. The fact that this came out and it's 6.5%, this is within expectations of what the bulls were hoping for. That came into existence, and I do think there's a chance that it's off to the races. When you look historically too, I mean, the Bitcoin halving cycles, you know that story.
Coming up. Not too far away. It'll be here before we know it.
It's coming up real soon. Historically, as soon as that thing hits and we have the actual halving event, it is off to the races. And typically we have kind of a lead up up to it. And now with the CPI data coming out and Bitcoin's moving up right now as we speak, but you're going to kind of see the excitement that the inflation, everybody's been calling for doomsday. You know, you have Jamie Dimon, the CEO at Chase Bank. You got everybody in the media talking about Jim Cramer. Oh, I don't know if you see me on Twitter, but I've been like making fun of Jim Cramer on Twitter because it's.
So I think I saw a couple tweets. Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. He's got typos. God. He's doomsday. Yeah. Sell crypto. Sell your friends. Like I don't know. Have you been keeping an eye? You talk about Jim Cramer over there in the UK?
Definitely. It's making a little bit of news. Probably not as closely as you, but yeah. I mean, a lot of what he's been coming out with. It's just. I just like to think that there's a lot of people that just can kind of see through what's really going on there. I think a lot of people probably don't, but I hope enough do that it doesn't influence the market too negatively.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, you know, the people that have the big spotlight on TV, they like to say one thing and do another. And this is what you've seen. I mean, we've seen all these bearish. You Googled crypto. If you guys Googled crypto over the last month, then you saw bearish articles. And that made me more bullish than ever for this reason right here. You see these markets pumping today. We've been talking about it on the channel. Satoshi's been talking about it. If you guys are watching YouTube and you guys are watching the YouTubers and not the Jim Cramers and the Jamie Dimons of the world, then you were probably on the right beat. And if you're watching this video right now, congratulations. I bet you're making a bunch of money as we speak. I think these markets are going to continue to pump personally. But a couple things we're going to talk about today, give you guys an idea of what the topics of the day are, is obviously CPI data. We're going to talk a little bit about Gala Games and the retraction of that interesting tweet about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Mark Wahlberg. I also want to talk about $5 billion of FTX funds potentially recovered. So if you guys like that kind of content, smash up like button for Satoshi and I. So let's take a peek, guys, at what we got going on in these crypto markets right now. There is a lot happening, but we are at currently 6,000 subscribers. When we do hit 10,000 subscribers on the channel, we will be giving away $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to one lucky subscriber. And Satoshi, I don't know if you saw this one, but at 25K subs, we're giving away a loaded lion. I do think that when the bull market comes back, these loaded lions are going to get even more valuable. Floor price at about $1,700 right now. Which is low. Are you bullish on these things still? I know there's been some clunky bumps on the road with some of these mints, but are you still bullish on these?
Oh, absolutely, mate. What kind of question is that? 100%, man. I've got literally, that's probably the least of my worries in terms of my crypto investments, mate. Crypto.com is just a proper grinder, and I think, like I still stand by them being the OG. Like they're the OG of the Cronos ecosystem, the NFT loaded lions, and I think they got as low as 1.5 from what I saw in my Sunday live stream. So really to hear they're back at 1.7, that's actually not bad. In my opinion, you know, I think because the thing is, guys, what you guys got to remember as well, if you invested in lions or whatever, NFTs are, you know, they're the most speculative asset really within crypto, these PFP collections. So generally when people are freaking out, markets are dumping, they're going to get rid of things like, their NFTs, right? So when you consider that, and then you compare, you know, your loaded lines floor price to all the other NFT collections, not just on Cronos, but also on Solana and on Ethereum. I'm talking the bigger collections. Have a look at how much they've gone down compared to loaded lines. Loaded lines arguably might be the one that has been most resilient in this bear market, right? And so just for that reason alone, it makes me really bullish to, you know what could possibly happen in a bull market. Not just that, but obviously the land sale as well, as we spoke about before, had overall, I think, an incredibly successful launch, really, simply because of the volume following the launch, and it was oversubscribed to the point where there were technical issues that they have been trying to resolve. Overall, that's bullish in a bear market. That's what I think.
Yep, I do agree. I think that it is bullish. I'm still waiting for more news to come out about the land sale, but we're excited to give away this land. I think there's going to be a lot of value to it. We want to do a lot more giveaways. There's going to be a lot of money to be made for anybody holding crypto in this, and as this channel grows, we want to keep giving back to the community, because I just love how strong the Crow community is, and crypto community is still hanging in there. You know, a lot of people have been some people capitulated, but the people that are still hanging on right now, and the people that are watching these videos, these are the diamond handers. These are the people that are in it for the long haul, the people that hold, a big bag of ETH, a big bag of Crow, big bag of, a couple Bitcoin, a Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, whatever it might be. I think these are the people that are going to be making a lot of money. So we celebrate together, and we're going to keep doing some giveaways. But Look at these markets, man. Right now, you got an $18,000 Bitcoin. I couldn't believe it. I put out a Twitter poll on the channel just yesterday, and I was asking the community, do you guys think that Bitcoin is going to break $18,000 this week? And then, like 10 hours later,
Nice.
it broke up above to this huge candle, and now the CPI data is out. Now, looking at this chart, I just want to get your take on it. If I take a peek at the Bitcoin chart, let's just look at, I guess, the last 3 months. I'll break it down. Let me get some candles for you. Do you see where we might be going? Like, if you had to take a stab at it, I mean, in a week, in a month, if this thing keeps moving, how high do you think we could go?
Look, I haven't been following the BTC price at all. I hold Bitcoin, but I generally don't follow it too closely. When I say not too closely, maybe that means I look at it once a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than like every 10 minutes, which is how I used to be at the start. But honestly, I don't get too emotionally attached like I used to the Bitcoin price specifically. But when I saw this, I opened up my phone. I was like, wait, what? Bitcoin above 18K? It was just like a big, warm, fuzzy hug. I was like, that feels nice. Like, that's good. It's good to see that because you know that BTC still does drive the whole market. So it makes you feel like so long as you haven't got absolute, S coin, then your balance is probably going up in one way or another. Where do I think it could potentially go in a week or a month? Look, I think again, being in the space from 2017, it's not as long as you, Kip, but what I've been a part of a few bulls and bears, a halvening, and what I've generally seen when Bitcoin does, or just before it does enter a bull, it's almost like no one really expects it, and it can do a lot of volume in a short time. It can just knock out a quick 5, 10, maybe even 15% sometimes in 1 to 2 days, right? So I think given that and given what I've seen, and I think, I always talk about this, as time goes on, people might come and go from crypto, but, generally speaking, the mass adoption is increasing slowly over time. And I think more wallets are accumulating BTC and, BTC is leaving the exchanges. It is leaving the market. So it's creating deeper scarcity, you would think, over time. And I think based on all that, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, we could easily go up to 20K in a week on a bull case. It can easily happen. It's not unrealistic to say that could happen. It could happen in a couple of days. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah.
I put out this little poll on Twitter. You're talking 20K. You let me right into it. Can it happen in January? In my opinion, I'm with you. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, we're leading to a bull run at some point. Is it really the bull run? We call it bottom here on the channel. I still feel that way. And you look at some of the gaps here, like, for example, you look at the chart here and see this like little green wick. I mean, if we can break significantly above this, I think we're going to have a huge move from 18,000 to 20K and in a hurry, at least to the bottom of this floor to high 18s. We'll kind of hit something there.
Kind of the resistance there, isn't it? Yeah.
19 to 20, we'd be looking at going up. And like you said, if Bitcoin goes up, so will the rest of the market. I mean, right now, you got a $14,000 Ethereum price, and it's very similarly laid out. I mean, if Ethereum breaks out, when it just did break out past some of these candles here, so you could be having a move on Ethereum up to $1,600 maybe here in a hurry. Now you got some ETH. Are you feeling bullish on ETH right now as well? I mean, are you seeing any other targets there? Or are you just kind of not worrying about it, just still DCAing and looking for that long-term vision?
Yeah, no, 100% Kip. I mean, I'm kind of on and off with my DCAing. For me, it's usually when I get a big lump sum of money from somewhere, it's just kind of irregular. It happens. I'm just like, all right, I'm throwing all this in, like just throwing it in now, rather than DCAing so much. So, I'm bullish on ETH. I think, I do think there is still such a misunderstood use case for DeFi. I think going into the next couple of years at least. And, I think, whilst there is a lot of bad acting and a lot of issues, in terms of compliance and regulation around DeFi, I think the basic idea that, trading fees are essentially going back to the community rather than going to a conglomerate, the good side of DeFi it makes total sense. Yeah, so look, overall on Ethereum, Kip, definitely extremely bullish. I think DeFi, Ethereum is essentially the foundation for DeFi. It's the building blocks, and I do think that DeFi, whilst a lot of people know about DeFi in the crypto space, I still think that it's very much misunderstood when it comes to the mainstream. And I think that if we just take it in its simplest form, not the bad actors, not the good, but what is it? Essentially, it's giving more reward back to the people that want to create these pools, offer that liquidity. So you're getting those fees yourself rather than these fees going to the conglomerate. So, just in that respect alone, I think it's just such an important feature that I think when people start to realize, and I guess when people start to understand about risking in the more safe dexes versus the more risky ones.
Yeah.
Then it's just another bull case for ETH. And you've got obviously all the Ethereum based NFTs. You got the collection. You got the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. You got Bored Ape Yacht Club. You got CryptoPunks among heaps more. This is again bringing a lot of volume to Ethereum. Okay, a lot of volume to OpenSea and other sort of Ethereum based NFT marketplaces, and you've also got those, those incremental burns with the gas fees, or those regular burns with the gas fees with ETH 2.0. I think there's just a lot of bullish fundamentals to suggest why Ethereum's going to continue on a pretty good upwards trajectory following BTC and possibly even overpassing it one day as well. So I'm very bullish and I'm still holding.
Yeah, no, I love it. And it's a great point about DeFi. And we saw last bull run, we saw this thing, the DeFi summer. I mean, you saw Compound, Aave, some of these projects on Ethereum go explosive. And look at Cardano. Cardano's up 25% over the week. And Solana, even those people were calling for the death of Solana. And I got to admit myself, I was worried for the future of Solana. I cheered on. The community's stronger than ever. But there's DeFi plays on each of these layer one ecosystems, and it's going to be very interesting to see how not only these layer ones pump, whether, Solana makes all-time highs again. I don't know. Cardano, same thing. Ethereum, I bet anything that Ethereum would, but we're going to have to see how these layer ones compete. But there's something to be said about these DeFi protocols that are on these projects. And to talk about Cronos really quick, Cronos is like a year old, okay? The actual DeFi ecosystem for crypto.com, this thing is a year old. I love that they rebranded the name of the token to reflect the actual chain that they got, Cronos chain. It's a layer one EVM compatible project. It's one of the first ones built on Cosmos. I think that in the future, you guys, we've been talking a little bit on this channel about tectonic and VVS Finance. And if I'm just going to pull up Tectonic really quick. Tectonic on CoinMarketCap is currently ranked number 3,000. I think on the Crypto.com app, I think it says it's ranked like 600 in crypto markets. $84 million market cap, okay? So this is tiny. And you look, this project came out early, just in December of 2021. So like this thing came out a long time ago. This is like way back, or not that long ago, excuse me. And it came right down. When the bull run comes, do you think that a project like this and the newer projects that are new into the fold have a chance to do 100x, 200x, 1000x even? I mean, is that what you're getting at when you're talking about DeFi for the next bull run?
Oh yeah, look, absolutely. I think these protocols are definitely going to continue locking up more value. I'm kind of, when it comes to the actual tokens for the protocols, I like to dip my toes in the water a little bit, and you're probably similar, so I would never personally go all in or even with a huge investment in really any sort of protocol token. I mean, things like a Uniswap or a Pancake Swap token, or, no, I'm not going to include Cronos in that one. I don't include Cronos in that one. That one I'm very bullish on. But even things like, MMF, Tectonic,
Sure.
even VVS, I think, I'm still not 100% convinced on, I guess, the longevity of those tokens specifically, but absolutely. I mean, I think that they definitely do have a potential to run. Obviously, they are low market cap,
Well,
and when we hit a full bull market,
that's a great point. I mean, so a lot of people say, if you're going to invest, that's what people are saying. So like, let's go back to like Mark Cuban and who's the other guy? Mark Cuban and Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Well, forget both of them, honestly, but I'm going to reference them real quick because when they were originally talking about crypto for the first time, they were like, put in 1% of your portfolio, very conservative, very small percentage of your portfolio. And I can understand that advice when they were first giving it. Now, forget any advice they give in the future. But I'm going to point to that because if you're in crypto and let's say you got, a big bag of crypto, I look at tectonic and VVS and these DeFi protocols in a very similar way. To your point, like, yeah, I think they have hugely insane upside, but I'm going to put one, maybe on the most aggressive side, 5% of my crypto portfolio into some of these higher gain potential, way more risk on assets like a tectonic, a VVS, and some of these other protocols, even a Uniswap, right? And even some of these other pancake swaps and sushi swaps. Now, you look at a Cronos, you look at a Solana, you look at a Cardano, and you look at, an Ethereum. Those are layer ones. That's a different thing. That's the city block that you're building the skyscrapers on. But whether, the tectonic skyscraper actually goes out of business or not, I don't really know. But I do know that if Cronos survives, there's going to be some successful DeFi projects. And looking that it's a leader, I think it's a good bet. But again, 5% of your portfolio, maybe.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I wouldn't probably, yeah, definitely wouldn't be going personally above sort of 1 to 5%. And also, even if you are, I feel as though even if you are to make an exponential gain on a VVS, say, oh, here we go, 100% in a month, then maybe if it's me, I'm really looking aggressively at taking really taking some serious profits on that, not just like, oh yeah, I should take profits. No, like I'm actually going to take probably 50% at least profits, maybe even more, and funnel them into either a stable coin or maybe a BTC or an ETH or something like that. That's how I would look at it, because I think it does have that potential for huge upside, but just as quickly it can just drop like a rock. And when it drops, it can create panic, sell off, etc. because of also it is a lot more new. The volume is, the market cap is a lot lower, and you just got to be careful. You can get very easily burned in a short time.
I love that you said that. I totally agree. I mean, just the other day, Tonic pumped up like 100% or something crazy. And I went out on a video and I was saying to the community, like, if you're holding some Tonic, what goes up must come down until at least the full-on bull run happens. Then we can kind of keep going up for a while, potentially. But we have not confirmed a true bull. I think we'll confirm a true bull run when Bitcoin's back above like 40K. Like we know we're in the bull run. Yeah. Now, even when Bitcoin hits 28K, $30,000, I still think there's room to come back down fast to like 19K, 20K again before we really continue up and then go back up to 40,000. So, I love that strategy, right? If there's a 100% pump, a 200% pump, a 300% pump, Gala Games, perfect example. Let's talk about Gala real quick. So Gala, and I guess I'll share my screen real fast. So Gala came out the other day, and there was this huge announcement where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Mark Wahlberg were potentially going to be releasing a movie on Gala Games, and the Gala team tweeted it out on Twitter. But unfortunately, and so the coin pumped, very fortunately for any Gala holders, and that was so cool to see. And I got to admit, I don't own any Gala, but when I saw this, I wanted to buy some Gala Satoshi. I wanted to buy so much, but I've seen the story, and so I didn't. And what I really was thinking is, if I was holding Gala, I'd be taking some profit where, just like you said, to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, right? Or maybe some Cronos, right? And I'd be waiting to kind of scale back in at a dip. So now they retracted their tweet, and unfortunately the price is crashing. Now that the price is crashing again, I still think this is a big story because there is some kind of partnership with, I think, the production company for Mark Wahlberg and maybe Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But I know you're bullish on Gala. What you saw this story unfold a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were seeing on this? And do you agree with that profit taking on the Gala situation?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think it really comes down to saying that there's never a right or wrong way to do these things. What I think is important is trying to formulate your strategy before you jump into a position, whether you're trading or long-term investing. Of course, that strategy can change. You make modifications, over time based on a variety of variables and factors. But for example, if you were someone that bought Gala maybe very recently, maybe you had $1,000 to throw in and you bought it around 2-3 cents, and you've just seen this pump is essentially 100% at 2-3x maybe, or something up towards 4 to 5 cents, then it probably makes sense to try and take maybe at least 50% or more if I was in that position. For me personally, as you know, Kip, I have a Gala node. I bought a node over a year ago when no one knew about Gala, when Gala had about 20K followers on Twitter, when people were saying that it was an outright scam. And to be honest, I had no idea what it was. It was just a tip from a friend. He's like, do this. And I was like, okay, here we go. Take my money. And so fortunately for me, it worked out. But my personal outlook for Gala is I've just been accumulating for the last year through the node. So I'm not in it for the quick profit taking for Gala. I'm hoping for an all-time high, 80 cents to $1 again for Gala, at which point, if that should happen, then I would personally look at taking anywhere upwards of 25 to 50% of that and moving it back into a BTC ETH or stable coin. So that's my personal strategy, okay, which may not apply to every other individual. So I kind of already have that preset plan in place. So it doesn't stop you from getting emotional when you see these things, but I think it helps rather than just being full emotion and making mad decisions. And, you know, as for the news itself, you know, you kind of wonder, was it deliberate? Did they deliberately do this? Was there manipulation going on to, because I mean, they're either starring in the movie or not. You've either got The Rock in the movie or you don't, right?
Yeah,
so,
but real quick on that,
yeah.
I don't know if Gala ever said like verbatim, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Mark Zuckerberg, Mark Wahlberg will be in a movie, right?
They didn't say it
Said
directly.
there's a partnership.
Yeah,
which
true.
May
That's
still be
clever.
true, but I think a lot of influencers, and honestly, I'm guilty of it because I heard the rumors and said there's a movie coming out with Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe people took it and ran with it, and they saw that, and maybe they went, ooh, people took this the wrong way. We got to retract this tweet and make the information more accurate.
Yeah, true. You're probably right. Again, I didn't look into the extreme details of the tweet. I was just like you. I probably watched about 2 or 3 Gala influencers that, quite honestly, they do shill quite a bit. And so, yeah, but I guess you're right. If that is the truth, then they've just kind of, they've taken advantage of a bit of an opportunity there, and that's just how the space is. I think you just kind of have to accept it for better or worse. I think so long as, the partnership with the actual studio or the management team is legit, then that's still fairly significant. Okay, it's not going to be as significant as literally having The Rock and Wahlberg, two of like, you could say that you don't really get much more iconic than that when it comes to like mainstream film, right? Or media or whatever. So that's huge. But again, I guess the way you got to think about it is, okay, if you're partnered with the management team, you would like to think that the management team of these two famous actors do their due diligence before even associating themselves with a company like Gala Film, because it's like, if they associate with Gala Film, then Gala Film are doing some dodginess or that they do a scam. How's that going to reflect on the management company that's managing The Rock? You know what I mean? So I would think they have the resources in a monetary way and kind of like the know, if you like, to hopefully make the right decisions, which I'm hoping sets a good precedent for Gala going into this bull market.
I do agree. I mean, even if they're not in the movie, this is still bullish for them, guys, because if an entity that's associated with Mark Wahlberg as big as he is and Dwayne The Rock Johnson as huge as he is, is associated, it's still bullish. Maybe it's not going to be them on screen, but it is still bullish. But I'll say this, I want to preface this one for anybody watching, and not financial advice, but consider this, guys, okay? When the bull market starts really happening, really crazy gains, face melting green candles, which is so exciting to think about. I urge you guys, just like with the Gala situation, when you see that one project, whatever it might be, whether it's Sandbox one day, ApeCoin, Cronos, Tectonic, if it pumps up 200% in like 24 hours in a week, then is not the time. That's not when I would urge. Please don't buy it at the peak of that green candle. Wait for a big red candle, because even if something goes up like this over time, on the way there's still going to be that. You're still going to have these, and so don't buy it up here. Buy it here, and then ride another one up, and maybe even try to take profits again on the way, scaling out. I love how you have a plan for Gala. I love that you're saying, maybe when it gets up to this price range, I'll be taking 25, maybe 50% off the table. A man with a plan wins the game in crypto. And if you're not taking profits, guys, then you're going to be missing out. And I've made the mistake. The reason I say don't buy it if a coin is pumping like crazy, that's not when you want to buy it. Now, you could argue, well, Cryptokip, Ethereum's only $1,400 and it's pumping right now, and I think it's going to go to 8K. Well, that's Ethereum, and that's a different story a little bit. and I understand that. But you also better be holding that thing for the long term if that's the kind of mindset you have. So it's going to be an interesting game, and I just want people to make the right decision in this. I love that you're talking about the profit taking. Let me ask you about this one, Satoshi. So Bonk token. My partner on the channel, Black Sea, I know he's diamond handing some of the Bonk. He decided to scale out some. I think he actually added in more and then started taking profit and kind of made the best of that situation. Now he's just kind of got his bag that he's holding, ended up taking some cash out. I know a lot of people are kind of just holding this thing. What is your profit taking strategy for that? Are you a diamond hander? Are you looking for profit? When are you taking profit? Can you tell us a little bit about Bonk? Maybe people aren't familiar with it.
Yeah, no, it's a very good point that you make, Kip, about Bonk. I think the first thing, because as you know, we spoke, I've been making a few videos about Bonk, and I think the first thing that people really need to understand when even thinking about, maybe considering getting into Bonk is that it is a meme coin. It's not serious. It is going to be one of these coins that is heavily manipulated. It's going to attract a lot of whale manipulation. It's very dangerous. We saw a 200% pump, and I was actually live streaming this. We had a 200% pump inside of 24 hours on the token, and I was covering all of this. I had it live on stream. So, but what happened, as you can see, the peak there on screen, and then we had a huge sell-off, guys. Huge sell-off. I think it's something like 20 of the wallets basically hold like 50% of the supply of Bonk. However, one thing I do want to add on to that, you got to remember that does take into account exchanges, DEXs and decentralized exchanges as well. Okay, whilst that doesn't sound great, that's just how it is. But I think, when you're thinking about criticizing Bonk, you can criticize it, but you got to understand it's a stupid meme token. It doesn't make sense. You can't make sense. You can't apply logic. You can't ask for utility. It's just what it is. It got airdropped to the wallet because there's a lot of people carrying on and complaining in Twitter who bought high and sold low, right? But it's like what I stressed all the time. If you can't cop it, then just don't get into it. As crypto influencers, we talk a lot about not investing more than you can afford to lose. It is a term that does just kind of get thrown around loosely, but really, like if you are seriously even fathoming this right now with Bonk, you really have to say serious bye-bye to that money, right? It is a gamble. It's a degenerate gamble, right? It really is. That's what it is. It doesn't really bring much.
To your point too, some people lost a bunch of money, but we were just talking, me and you just now, we were saying, right, the FOMO thing. If you were buying Bonk when it was ripping up, here, then this is probably not a good opportunity to make some money. I mean, of course it could keep going up, but inevitably the hype train will end, and here it's back down to earth. So now I'll say this. I was saying don't buy Bonk here. I was saying it very clearly on the channel. But if you want to take 1% of your portfolio, 0.5% of your portfolio, and you want to take a little gamble now, well, look at the big dips that we've had. Maybe now's the time, because if the bull market is coming and this is one of the sheaves or the meme tokens of the future, look, Solana community is strong. And they came out with the Bonk NFTs now. So who knows? Maybe this does get big, but I wouldn't have bought it here. I'd consider buying it here. Personally, I won't be buying Bonk. That's just me. I mean, I'm going to focus a little more into like kind of some of the bigger projects. I'm a little less risk adverse than I've been with. I mean, crypto's risk on no matter what, but I'm avoiding some of the meme tokens for now. If I am going to take a meme token bet, it's probably going to be a Doge or a Shiba, to be honest with you. But if I had the guts to buy some Bonk, I'd be looking at it now more than here for sure. I mean, I was saying no over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so, look, I mean, yeah.
Solana. Solana had a huge comeback. Are you feeling good about Solana overall? I mean, obviously, Bonk's the Solana coin. You feeling good about it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think with the recent Solana pump, I think a lot of that can be, contributed to what Bonk, the volume that Bonk has brought into the marketplace. A lot of activity with NFT projects now doing mints in Bonk. You can only buy this NFT in Bonk and will burn 100% of the Bonk. Then they'll just make money from secondary sales, right, when it comes to an NFT collection. Radium protocol and Orca protocol two of the big ones on Solana. They've got some really attractive pools with Bonk USDC, Bonk Sol, paying rates of close to 1,000% on active pools. So, it's just bringing a lot of volume. Statistically, a lot of volume has flooded into Solana, be it through NFTs or DeFi. The social media hype is unparalleled. I mean, there's really nothing that comes close to it in terms of, at least in recent times, so it's exciting. And, it's nice to see, I think it's nice to see Solana having that move. Again, I don't know, I would say, again, I'm kind of 50-50 when it comes to Solana in the long term. I feel like as a user who does use Solana, I use it for NFTs, I use it for DeFi, fantastic experience. It's quick, it's fast. I don't want to speak for how secure it is versus other blockchains, but I haven't personally had any problems. And the gas fees, it's not even, they're so low at the moment that it's not even worth calculating into your profits. It's not like Ethereum, so people will argue that it is substantially more centralized than Ethereum. But hey, I think there's pros and cons to this. It's not just a con. Just because, decentralization is another buzzword that gets thrown around all the time. Just because it's decentralized, it doesn't mean it's good. Okay, there are pros and cons. There's some good that does come with some level of centralization. So I think, people need to remember that. And I do think that the developers generally behind Solana are good. I do think they have good intentions. And, for all of those reasons, I do hold a bit of Solana. And, I think, again, Kip, like we've been saying over and over and again, there's buying opportunities. If you're a believer, right, if you're a believer in Solana, now's the time to consider getting in, So
Yeah, and to your point there, and let me just show the chart again. Look, it's still down so much. I mean, it's still down
exactly.
50% over the last couple months. So, I mean, I think at least, this $36 price, a 2x still up from here is more than feasible for Solana. I really do believe that, like, in these bull markets, you can almost put on a blindfold and pick a coin. And, like, I said this in a video the other day, it's like FTT token, you could probably make money on FTT token, even though, please, guys, don't buy FTT token. Please,
don't buy
please,
FTT.
please, don't buy that token. Don't buy the FTX coin. But you could put on a blindfold and make money in crypto. But I'll tell you this, Solana's community is so strong. And that's the pro. That's the pro. And so the decentralization aspect, that can come down the road. The developers and the people voting on the future of the project, they could change the future of this project. There's been some outages on the project. They could fix that. The fact is that if people are still excited about it, there's potentially a future. But I do agree with you. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50 on it. I just think right now there's a lot of opportunities to make money in crypto. But I do believe, the bottom's in. And this story right here might be one of those signals. I mean, the FTX fallout was one of the big most recent capitulations. This was the last time that we saw crypto take an absolute dump downward, and it was like November 2nd and through the 4th. It was crazy. YouTube views went up and the prices went down. Everybody wanted to know what's going on with FTX, and everybody was searching it frantically. Well, now they've recovered over $5 billion in assets. Now, whether this will be given back to the users, we still have to see. But Satoshi, is this bullish for you? What are your thoughts on this one? This is still breaking. There's still more news to come out on it, but did you see this story, and what do you think?
Yeah, look, no, I saw sort of the headlines of that story come out, and I was watching a live stream of I think it's the Nifty live stream, just an NFT channel that I watch. They do daily live streams and give sort of like the nitty gritty content of what's going on in NFTs and just the overall markets. But they were kind of saying, I think, some kind of calculation whereby if that whole amount went to the community, that could pay off maybe like half what was owed or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but that's what they said. So I'm not sure. But look, in any case, then, look, I think if there's a plan in place to get that money back in customers' hands, absolutely that's bullish. If it's a case of they're going to use their lawyers to fight to keep that money and just bugger off and do whatever they want with it, unfortunately, it's not good for crypto. It doesn't look good, right? That's what I think. But and I think when it comes down to customers getting their funds back, I could only imagine that there's going to be a bit of work to do there. There's going to have to be a bit of a fight. People are going to have to uproar. I don't know what kind of counsel that the community is seeking and the process behind all of that in actually getting their funds back. I'm not exactly sure how that's all sort of working out exactly right now, but I'm sure there's something going on. And I think it's going to be a case of how good they're going to be at basically fighting in court to get part of that money back into customers' hands, which I think is what should happen. Very similar to what's been going on with Mt. Gox. That happened many, many years ago. And again, I've got a friend who who had 9 BTC in that. He's still waiting on it, but it's almost looking like that might be coming through within the next couple of years, maybe. So, and that's right. It should. That's how it should be. So hopefully, if the right thing happens, then I think you turn what was once a bearish event maybe into a bullish event because there's some redemption made, I suppose. But if they just bugger off and he just buys a few more mansions for his family and goes off the radar, it ain't good, I think.
Few more mansions, couple 2-3 mansions for the family.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know, but I'll tell you, if this money is given back to the users and the users dump it, or let's say
that's not good.
If the funds are dumped to cash to give back to the users, which would be, I don't know how it's going to work. I think short term, maybe it becomes bearish. Long term, I think it's bullish, right? If they can recover the funds in some capacity, then there's hope for any errors that might happen in the future, right? And instead of just like death and destruction and vanishing magical money is gone and it going to mansions, I think it would be good to see. But it's going to be interesting to watch Bitcoin this week. So this video is coming out the day after CPI. So if you guys are watching this right now, CPI data came out yesterday. But for us here on this video, it's today. And I saw here some big wicks for Bitcoin. So the story, what it looks like, and I'm just going to give my idea, and I want to get your take on this thought, Satoshi. But leading up to the CPI, boom, huge bullish numbers. Everybody wanted this 6.5% number, which we did get for CPI data. And then all of a sudden, this was the pump this morning leading up to it. Then a scam wick, like a scam wick down. I personally think that this is just liquidating greedy longs that feel bullish. I think that the bull market's on. So tomorrow we'll see if this video does become accurate or not on that. But I think you still have more room to, I think, come down maybe into these areas just to kind of scam wick some other folks out that are trying to do some greedy longs. I think we're moving up, though. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, there's some serious green wicks, aren't they? Yeah, look, I mean, I do agree with you. I think maybe some longs being liquidated there could be to blame for those little drops there. And it seems like there was a little bit of buy pressure as well. There was a kind of a little bit of support maybe starting to form there, sort of at those higher levels. So yeah, no, I'm bullish, man. I think it's good. I mean, the fact is there was the anticipation for the CPI, and hey, data's good. It's either bullish or bearish, and it's bullish, right? So that's really all. I mean, what else can you go off? As we kind of said at the start of the video, the only bearish thing is really some kind of catastrophic event, maybe related to DCG. If it happens, or another bankruptcy, you kind of almost feel like, when we made the last video, from then last month, it's just feeling a lot better. Generally, it really is. That's what I think. So I am feeling optimistic about this.
We're feeling good too. Well, really, I mean, I guess last thing, land NFTs. I'll leave it at this. We'll end on the crypto.com land. I know you got some land, right? You got a little bit of land, right?
Absolutely. No, I've been going ham on the land. Well, I mean, I've got I think nine dunes in total. I got one no mythical.
No.
I got 9 dunes, one alluring aurora, and one what's the other one?
The Molten Caverns?
One lagoon, not Molten Cavern, unfortunately.
Lagoons, man.
Yeah, so I haven't got the 2 highest tier rarities just yet, but not because I don't want to, just don't have the extra cash to load in, but I absolutely would be. I think the floor prices have been holding pretty well. There's still some volume there. It hasn't just like fallen off a cliff or something, and obviously the volume slowed down a bit, but that's just normal for an NFT collection after the first week or so. So, I'm very bullish. I think it was quite interesting actually. My live stream last Sunday, a really nice gentleman came on from Australia. I'd never met him before, and he just tipped me like $50 Australian to buy. He said, use this to buy a Dune land for the channel. So I'm going to be doing that on the live stream on Sunday. So I thought that was really cool, just literally out of the blue. I felt a bit bad, but hey, no, I'll stick to it. I'll keep one land aside for the channel. But I guess one thing that I want to say about that in relation to, I do a lot of comparisons to the other side, the Bored Ape Yacht Club land. What I've been seeing in terms of their in-game play, I am very happily surprised with what they've got going on. The third-person Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT or character avatar walking around in what I think is a pretty well formulated and constructed land. Gaming is one of my number one, number two hobbies. Okay, so I feel like I have an okay opinion in this space. I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing from other side, and the reason why I draw that relevance is because, well, I've got a feeling Crypto.com are drawing some inspiration for from other side land, because they're the ones to look up to. In terms of volume, they're right up there. Other side land is like, I think, number 7 or 8 when we talk about total Ethereum volume for Ethereum-based NFTs. It is up there. People are excited. There's money there. And what you got to remember is when these items get traded, creator funds are going into the pockets of this project. So they're going to have money to invest in the right team if they want to. It's just, so that's the battle, right? Are they going to have enough money? Absolutely, they're going to have enough money to fund this. I'm talking about other side. Right, and it kind of looks like they're doing things in the right way. So I would relate that back to Crypto.com and say, obviously, they're a lot earlier on in their development of their land, but I would like to see something similar in terms of gameplay, how it is. So if any of you guys have seen, or you look up other side, the gameplay that's out there at the moment, you've got your Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT walking around. If that could be a loaded lion or a cybercub,
I'll tell you,
fantastic.
Satoshi, I don't want to break your heart on it. We did a video the other day. I actually got some inside scoop from the community. So there's a fella by the name of Red Falcon, and he used to be a Crypto.com ambassador. And this isn't public, so not a lot of people know that. I did one little video on it the other day. And it was called Land Leak. So if you guys missed it, here's the scoop.
Well, this is first time for me then, so thanks.
Yeah, so brace yourself. But it's still cool. It's just, it's not going to be like you're walking around, third person view or even first person view kind of thing. Maybe they come out with something like that later. This is the first frontier after all. We'll see what else comes down the pipeline. But
yes.
Have you ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yeah, no, I have. I like Roller Coaster Tycoon. Okay,
and
that's going to be
Roller Coaster Tycoon, Farmland, the iPhone game. So this is going to be more of you're kind of looking over the land, and it's going to be like a grid-based system, I think, where you can actually like build these plots of land, and so it's going to be like fees to construct these things, and you can harvest, diamonds and whatever it might be from this. And so it's going to be more like this you're looking over this land, and it's going to be like kind of one angle kind of deal, just like you look at the land, you're kind of looking at it from a diagonal. It's going to be the same concept, very similar to Roller Coaster Tycoon. So I think that's going to be the gameplay style. And Farmland is another example of that. And Farmland was huge. Farmland was a really popular app. I remember when I was, I think, in high school, way back in the day, like that was absolutely huge. And I think still some people love Farmland. This is kind of going to be like that, which is going to be interesting. So maybe, you go in and you harvest whatever it might be, your funds from your mansion, from the movie theater you build on your loaded lions. Who knows what it's going to end up being. But I think it's going to kind of be this, like, I check in 2 to 3 times a day and harvest and earn. The question is like, how much will we be able to earn, and do people like the game? And I certainly think there's a market for that, but it's going to be different. So I was a little disappointed when I heard that. I was hoping that like everybody could come and party in the metaverse, kind of like a Decentraland kind of vibe, kind of like the other side's going to be. But I don't think it's going to end up being like that. Still excited to see what happens, but.
Hey, look, that sounds absolutely fine. No, that's not bad news at all. That's not bad news at all. Farmland is that's the one that was on. Was
Farmville. I think
Farmville. Farmville. Yeah, no, I know it. So Gala Games' first game that they brought out was Townstar. I'm not sure if you've heard of that game. And the game, just specifically about the game, Fantastic game. Really fun, engaging, addictive. Same kind of thing. You check in and you kind of make gold and you set up your town basically. And so, oh no, absolutely, there is a market for it, as you said. 100% there is a market for it. And actually, in theory, in all likelihood, it's probably a better approach. I mean, because in theory, you do, you mentioned, oh, you would, yeah, and it would be cool to kind of all come into a land and do stuff, but how does the earning happen? How does it would be a cool thing, and like you say, maybe it's something they're bringing in the future, but no, like it's not the be all and end all. I mean, I just think it's for me being a gamer, it would be cool to have something like that. Maybe they will at some point, but if it's going to be anything like a Farmville or something, as you say, there is definitely a market for that, and I am extremely bullish to find out that it could be done like that. So long as they've invested in good design of the game and it looks nice, it's fresh, it's clean, and if it's good gameplay, okay, that's the most important thing. If the gameplay makes sense, it's fun, people are having a good time. This is good. This is good. I'm sure there's going to be competitions between players and things like that inevitably. So there is going to be that engagement. Oh, I'm doing this build on my farm. Oh, really? I'm doing this one, and you can maybe check out other people's farms and things like this. So no, thanks for letting me know about that. I didn't have that inside information, but now I do. So I'm going to be talking all about that.
We'll see. I mean, I heard this in a Twitter
Yeah.
space from some of the guys in the community.
Nice.
So, shout out to, I think it was Zeus and also Texas Hotel Crow
Okay.
from Twitter,
Okay.
those guys. And they were talking. And so it's interesting. The guys, by the way, the guy that leaked this information is no longer a ambassador for crypto.com. He got let go.
Okay.
It's just interesting. But there's still a lot of news to come. I'm bullish on it overall.
Me too.
I'm bullish on the crypto markets, and we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, we're just talking about how I think there's more room for downside, and here we go. Bitcoin's slipping a little bit, but I think, we're going to find some kind of one more bottom, and I believe that the bulls will be on again, and who knows, it maybe even by the time you watch this tomorrow, you'll see this retracement back up. I don't know what the charts will look like tomorrow, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. Satoshi, so good to have you on the channel. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. It's absolutely fantastic to see you again. Obviously, we'll keep these going. I mean, you're fantastic to talk with. Absolutely a pleasure. Keep it going, man. Great content. We're going to put Satoshi's information and link in the description down below. If you guys aren't currently subscribed to Satoshi on YouTube, you're making a mistake. Fix that mistake. Go to the link in the description down below. Subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter. We'll put that in for you as well, Satoshi. Thanks so much for coming on. Any parting words for the community, my brother?
Yeah, no, you're an absolute legend, Kip. Such good energy, such good optimism, unbiased, concise, regular content in a very niche space. And I just love how you also manage to throw quite a bit of info with the general markets and do it in a way that really, is in context with, the news and information you're delivering about crypto.com as well. So, kudos to you. Appreciate that. Really, really good, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, notifications on for sure for Cryptokip. He's an absolute legend, and Black Sea as well. Give him some shout out too. And yeah, appreciate you for checking out my channel as well. And yeah, guys, just to really, give you a bit of context, one thing to say, there's probably a lot of investors maybe that got in recently, maybe you got in, maybe you got in today at around 18,000 and it's just, maybe it'll drop to 17,000. Just don't freak out. Chill, again, we spoke about that strategy. I think that's so important. It's something that I have not always put in place. I've kind of had to learn that over time, but it's so important. You think to yourself, even if it's $50, I'm putting in $50, what's my strategy? Again, for me, if I'm my advice to someone new, if they're putting in $50 for BTC, don't try and trade it on the short term. If you're trying to put $50 into CRO, if it drops 20, 30% tomorrow, just honestly, just leave it, because you're going to try sell it. You're going to get burned again. It's almost never going to go well. Okay. So have a strategy. If you're a new person, just buy and hold BTC, ETH, and CRO if you're thinking about getting in. And just remember that, stay positive, because it is a volatile space. And if it was easy, everyone would do it. That's why everyone doesn't do it, because it is hard to handle emotionally. And it comes with time, but you kind of do have to have nerves of steel. So stay positive, stay optimistic, and stay interested in the bear market when no one else is. And, you're going to reap those fruits and rewards when we do hit that full bull. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Nerves of steel. If you guys are here today, you have nerves of steel. You guys are ahead of the pack. And I absolutely love what you're saying there. It is good to hold. The smaller the bag, the more you want to hold it. Absolutely. Guys, I'm feeling good. Satoshi, so good to see you. Thank you all for tuning in, watching this content with the Crow fam, with the crypto community. I'm Cryptokip. You got Satoshi with us here today. Thanks again. Don't forget, smash your like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, guys, you got to remember to DCA HODL, and of course, we will see you in the next one, and we will.
Catch you guys. Let's go.